Why, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Truly Odd podcast where we bring you the latest in game news and movie news. I'm your host, Joe Garcia. So grab your controllers, get your popcorn, and let's go ahead and dive right on into our topic, shall we? Starting with our first game news topic of the day. It looks like Crimson Desert has been delayed till 2026. So we talked about this a couple episodes ago. Let's go ahead and jump on over to this article here and take a look at some of the awesome visuals and gameplay from this game. It looks like a really awesome game from what we're seeing visually. But here are the details. Apparently, Pearl Abyss has delayed Crimson Desert from quarter 4 2025 to quarter 1 2026, citing longer than expected timelines for voiceovers, console certifications, offline distribution, and per partner coordination. Which working in the game industry, it's very rare for this to happen unless you didn't have the game very organized from the beginning. And these things are very done. So there's different types of formats that games are developed. There's something called Kanban. There's other called Scrum. And Kanban's very rare nowadays compared to the industry how it used to be. Kanban's more of like, come as you go for testing and development cycles. Whereas Scrum is more doing it in a steady pace. We know what we're going to be working on every week, every month, and how long that's going to take, even with bugs and delays and things of that sort. So for them to not have their voiceover or console certification in a timely manner makes no sense. I think there's something bigger going on. Now, not saying that anyone's lying. Who knows? Maybe there's some truth to this, but I think there's a little bit of something happening on the back end that they're not telling us. But moving on to the next area of what they're talking about, it looks like the game will still be appearing at Gamescom, PAX West, and Tokyo Game Show. So if you were attending those, looking forward to playing this, they will still be attending those shows, those showcases. So don't you have any concerns there? So the studio confirms that the new release window initial the studio confirms a new release window initially, but will announce a specific launch date later, probably this year or next year. So, if you were looking forward to this game here at the end of 2025, it looks like you might have to wait at least another 4 to 5 months, depending on when they decide to end up releasing it. First quarter could be the 3 months of the year, but who knows what they're going to end up doing. So if you guys were interested in this, just be prepared for those delays. And I do think this game looks very, very awesome. So hopefully the production turns out to be well and we get a good game out of it nonetheless. And hopefully whatever issues they're coming across, they have time to fix it all. But moving on to our next game news topics of the day, it looks like Take Two CEO says he has very high. Uh, excuse me, one second. Oh, sorry. They Take Two CEO says he has very high conviction that Grand Theft Auto 6 won't be delayed again. So let's go ahead and take a look at this Game Rant article here. He was during an interview with CNBC. Uh, his name is Stars Zingnick. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong. But during an interview with CNBC, Star Scenic expressed a very, very high confidence that Grand Theft Auto 6 will be meeting the current release date of May 26, 2026. There were rumors recently that it was going to be delayed yet again, but it looks like that he's convinced that it will be coming out in a time at the time corrected. But while acknowledging the risks of a future delay, Zenith emphasized that the Grand Theft Auto 6 remains Rocksteady's primary focus, and the studio is commenting on quality over rushing the release. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the comments that he had to say
The
here
company
in this
saying Grand
interview.
Theft Auto 6 remains on track to be released in May 2026. The stock rebounding today from Friday's losses, now up roughly 20% this year. Joining us now in an exclusive interview is Take-Two Interactive Chairman and CEO Strauss Zelnick. Welcome. Great to have you always.
Great to be here.
So, I mean, things are looking good ahead of this release, it seems, given your report.
Things are looking amazing. We had a great first quarter. It's great to be able to guide up for the year. And what's really exciting is that we're performing across all of our labels. And mobile has had this wonderful story with 2 new big hits. And as you know, the hardest part of our business is to create new mobile hits. So I couldn't be more thrilled with how things are going.
What's driving that sort of inflection in mobile?
I think what's driving it is our teams are just doing a wonderful job. So the new hits are coming from our labels, our studios in Turkey, Peak and Rollick. And Peak has launched Match Factory, which is massive, and Rollick's had its biggest hit with Color Block Jam, also massive.
So it's just the innovation cycle, that's what's working right now?
They're just doing a great job creatively, and they also are great marketers, and they run.
So I want to mind you, he's really upselling his company because it's more like when they're on shows like this for investors, it's like almost like an investors call where they really have to hype things up and put on a really good face and show that the numbers that they're portraying, so more people invest in the company and buy stocks, upping their price and stuff like that. So take everything he says with a grain of salt. If you guys want to watch the whole thing, I'll have everything in the description down below if you're interested in taking a look at it for yourself. But nonetheless, hopefully this is the case that the game is going to be deployed on a timely manner, even though there are rumors that it might get delayed again. Now, mind you, he's probably blowing smoke all our asses, so we don't have to worry, and their stock continues to rise because they're doing good in the market right now. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see when the game is going to be released in May of 2026. But let me know what you guys think. You think he's full of shit, or do you think he's being honest? Moving on to our next game news topic of the day, and we're going to chalk this one up to the rumor mill, or these next two up into the rumor mill. But the first rumor mill is going to be talking about Beyond Good and Evil 2 maybe using generative AI to help with the development cycle. So, industry leaker Wash Weebly, forgive me if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, claims that Ubisoft is using generative AI to assist with NPC creation, non-player character creations, in Beyond Good and Evil 2 through Ubisoft, though Ubisoft has not officially commented on the uh, on this integration. Sorry. Anyways, they haven't commented. Jesus Christ, I am not feeling myself today. Anyways, let's just keep going, shall we? Development was reportedly paused back in early 2005, with initial discussions about the renaming the game and shelving the completed story trailer, adding additional content, and project direction overall. The rumored use of generative AI has sparked controversy as many developers and players worry about the impact on creative jobs. And this is just a general thing for entertainment in general. Generative AI seems to be a very interesting thing that people are doing. The film industry was on a strike a while back for generative AI reasons. People don't want them to use it because it's going to cause a lot of issues with creation and development and things like that. People are going to be out of jobs, and it's going to happen in every industry where AI is going to be utilized to perform easier tasks for jobs and things like that. So it will be getting a lot of people out of work. So it's a very interesting thing going on in the industry. So if this is true for Beyond Good and Evil, it's going to be interesting how the game's going to turn out overall. Because if generative AI is able to create non-player characters and really do a good job of it, then I'm sure a lot of other studios will follow suit in the process of using generative AI for creations of this sort. But we'll have to wait and end up seeing what they're doing in the long run. Reminder, this is all rumors, so take everything with a grain of salt, but who knows what's going to happen at the end of the day. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of Beyond Good and Evil, so I'm not really interested in what they got going on for this game, so we'll have to wait and see what ends up happening. But let me know what you guys think. Moving on to our next topic of the day, and this is another thing we're going to chalk up to the rumor mill. It looks like a leaker revealed the details to Resident Evil Requiem gameplay. So let's go ahead and take a look at this article by Game Rant. So there's a bit of a breakdown for what they're saying here, what the gameplay is going to look like. But in general, just as the main character is going to be Grace Archfold, who's a new character of the Resident Evil franchise, the gameplay will emphasize environmental interactions, allowing players to use objects creatively and manipulate lights and darkness as part of the survival loop. Leon Kennedy? Yeah, Leon Kennedy's combat suggests that it's Last of Us Part 2, featuring emphasis on stealth, brutal melee mechanics, and methodical encounter, whatever that means, methodical encounters. Anyways, so basically Last of Us Part 2 gameplay-esque is what we're going to look at for that. So I'm curious as why they specifically focused on Leon's character using that type of gameplay and not both Grace, the new character, using that gameplay. I'm assuming it should be both unless they're both going to play differently. I'm wondering why they would do that. But another interesting thing mentioned here for this is that players will reportedly traverse open level environments in Raccoon City. using vehicles. First for the franchise, according to Dusk Golem. So that's going to be a very interesting, having a bit of an open world esque feel for the Resident Evil franchise. So I'd be very curious to see how they're going to pull this off and how things are going to look. Now, mind you, this is a bit of rumor. Some leaks can be true and tend to be true, but it all varies. I'd say, like I say about 70% bullshit, 10% people making lucky guess. Or wait, was it? I want to say 70% bullshit. 70% is bullshit, 20% is people making lucky guesses, and 10% is the studio actually leaking information. So it all varies and depends. So we'll actually wait to see what happens with this development. I've been playing Resident Evil, Biohazard, and Village the past couple weeks with my brothers, and we've had a really good time. So this is definitely a game that we are all looking forward to now that we've kind of gotten invested in those games. We were hoping to continue with Ethan's story, but it looks like we are going to be working with a new character in Grace, and hopefully they pull off a great job with this story. But let me know what you guys think. Are you interested in this Resident Evil game? Do you like the thought of it having different gameplay and the gameplay might being like Last of Us 2? I don't mind it. I thought Last of Us 2's gameplay was a lot of fun, so I think it really works well for the Resident Evil franchise. But let me know what you guys think. Moving on to our next game news topic of the day. It looks like Battlefield 6 lead producer teases the players that teased that players will be able to see bigger maps soon. So I don't know if this means that we're going to be getting bigger maps this coming weekend with the rest of the beta, but it looks like their initial release for the maps were actually the smaller versions of the maps that were released. Let's go ahead and take a look, and I'll break down what they're saying in this article, shall we? DICE lead producer Dave Sherland confirms that the large maps do exist for Battlefield 6 and will be revealed soon, addressing players' concerns about a small map featuring in the open beta. The smaller beta maps were chosen to showcase high tempo combat, but Sherland emphasized that the map scale affects gameplay speed and that large maps will offer a different pace and experience. 5 additional maps are planned for the launch, including Maraca Valley. Forgive me, I said that wrong. Reportedly the largest in the game. Now, I don't know how large that would be, but I'm very curious how large these maps are going to end up being. But I do think this is great that they're going to have more maps. Looking like they're going to have how many in total here? Let's see. Large maps. I don't think they said how many maps they'll have. 5 additional maps. So 5 additional maps. So I think that's 8 in total then. If it's so, that'd be interesting having 8 maps. I think they should have about 10 or 12 maps as opposed to 8, because a lot of the maps get very repetitive and stuff like that. And hopefully they do a little bit of what Call of Duty does and bring in some old classic maps that have been modernized for this gameplay. That'd be fun, because a lot of the maps that were utilized even in Battlefield 2042 were very entertaining and very fun. So I think they would be great to bring some of those maps in for this gameplay. Plus, I would like to see maps more utilizing more of the aerial combat as well. So that'd be a lot of fun. But let me know what you guys think of this. Are you excited to see what other maps are available for Battlefield? Do you think this weekend we're going to have, more gameplay or more maps to play on and check out for this weekend's Battlefield beta? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Moving on to, that does it for our game news topics of the day. We're going to go ahead and move on to our movie news topics, and starting with our first movie news topic of the day. Looks like we got a trailer for Marty Supreme, and if you have not heard, this stars Timothée Chalamet. Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer. Sadly, I cannot play it for you fully audio, so I'm going to break this down. Timothée Chalamet stars as Marty Musser. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. A 1950s ping pong prodigy chasing fame and respect. In this, what's the director's name is Josh Safdie sports dramedy. The film blends ambition, romance, and absurdity, featuring Gwyneth Paltrow as a movie star entangled in a ping pong mafia. Whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. I guess that's the part that's the dramedy aspect of it. Set to be released on December 25th, Marty Supreme marks Sadfield's first solo directorial effort since Uncut Gems, promising a stylized, chaotic journey through a competitive table tennis personal renovation. Yeah, personal renovation. Reinvention. Jesus Christ. God, dyslexia sucks sometimes, guys. But anyways, practice makes perfect, and that's why I like calling this truly odd, because none of us are normal and we all make mistakes, and I just tend to keep them in more than other people do. But anyways, what do you guys think of this trailer? Oh yeah, by the way, we have this gentleman from Shark Tank in the movie. He seems to be doing an interesting job in acting. From this trailer, he seems to be doing quite well. Yeah, that's about it, guys. Let me know what you guys thought of this trailer. Does this movie interest you? We be checking it out? Does Timothée Chalamet stand out as an actor that will drive you to see interesting movies like this? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Moving on to our next movie news topic of the day, it looks like New Line is looking to make a Weapons prequel movie. Weapons just did phenomenal at the box office. I think it was like one of their six movies in the row at Warner Brothers to as a distributor to break over $40 million, the first in distributed history in Hollywood. I have to confirm that, but that's what I've been hearing. So that congratulations to them. But yeah, Warner Brothers did a phenomenal job with this movie, and I really enjoyed it. But it looks like they're gonna have a prequel. Now, before I tell you anything further, there might be minor spoilers for Weapons here. So if you're not interested in getting spoiled, go ahead and move on to the next topic. But Warner Brothers and New Lines are in early talks with Zach Kreger, the director, to develop the prequel for the Weapons, focusing on Gladys, excuse me, the breakout character played by Amy Madigan, who is right here in this photo. Uh, Gregor originally wrote the chapter explaining Gladys' backstory, but cut it out due to story length reasons. The studio now wants to expand the material into a full length origin story. Uh, no deals have been finalized, and Kreger is currently prioritizing his Resident Evil reboot movie, his Resident Evil reboot. So if you guys are interested in learning more about this, go ahead and check out this article. But it's basically going to be a prequel story of the crazy aunt from Weapons. I don't want to give any other details, but I do think this would be a very interesting movie to learn about her past and what led her to being the type of person she is, and kind of how she learned to do this stuff. So I think it would be a crazy, awesome, interesting origin story. Maybe origins of weapons, weapon origins, or Aunt Gladys weapons, whatever the hell they're going to call it. I think it's a great opportunity, and I really look forward to checking it out. I was very surprised by the movie, and I think I would be interested in seeing more from this franchise if they turn it into one. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Would you be looking forward to a prequel of Weapons? Moving on to our next movie news topic of the day. It looks like Angelina Jolie is going to be teaming with Doug Liman for a spy thriller called the Initiative. The Initiative. The Initiative. The Initiative. Anyways, moving on. Let's go ahead and talk about this. This would be her first time teaming up with Doug Liman since Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So the return for Initiative, a high stakes spy thriller described as Training Day, set in the world of spycraft with Jolie playing Bright, a rough master spy whose methods blur the line between heroism and danger. Universal Pictures won the competitive bidding war to acquire the project rights, which featured a script by F. Scott Frazier, forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, and is being fast-tracked to production in early 2026. The story centers around Bright, a new recruit named Charlie, who struggles to determine whether his unpredictable boss is protecting him or planning to kill him as they navigate morally gray missions to safeguard the free world. So, very interesting story that's going to be told here with this movie. As far as Angelina Jolie, I think she's great in any movie she does, so I'm sure she's going to do a phenomenal job. I'd be curious who they're going to star alongside her to play her new recruit as Charlie. So I'd be interested in who's going to be playing that character and how they're going to have, because they're going to have really good chemistry, stuff like that. Because in Training Day, Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke had good chemistry, even though there was a bit awkwardness between the two characters. And I do think that it's a great example of how it is. It's Training Day meets Spies, so that's going to be really fun and entertaining. And I think Angelina Jolie does a great job in playing crazy. And her last team up with Doug Liman did phenomenal with Mr. and Mrs. Smith, so hopefully they can recapture that magic in a new movie. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you interested in checking this movie out, or do you hope they probably work on a different project? Let me know what you guys think. Moving on to our next movie news topic of the day. It looks like Michael Mando, who's going to be playing Scorpion in Spider-Man Brand New Day, has teased Venom in a social media post. So if you don't know who Michael Mando is, it is this gentleman right here in this photo. He is going to be playing Scorpion in the new Spider-Man movie, but he recently did a social media post where he kind of teased, which is this photo right here. Now, this is from a comic book where this Venom symbiote takes over Scorpion, and Scorpion becomes the new Venom, or a symbiote Scorpion. So let me go ahead and break down some of this for you. Michael Mando is officially reprising his role as Gargan, Mac Gargan Scorpion, 9 years after his brief appearance in Spider-Man Homecoming. Mando also shares artwork of Gargan as Venom, fueling speculation that the character may bond with the symbiote left behind No Way Home, which I think would be a very interesting thing for them to do, because Scorpion's an awesome character, and depending on how you utilize him and how you portray him, he could come off a bit silly. So I think there'd be a great opportunity to really emphasize kind of the awkwardness of a Scorpion kind of character, utilizing the Venom symbiote to kind of emphasize his power and his abilities and stuff like that. Now, if they kind of try to bring the Venom from the Venomverse over, it really won't suit. So I'm curious how they're going to pull it off if they end up doing it. Now, mind you, he could have just looked at this post and just thought, "Oh, that's a really awesome picture here. Let me just post this because I mean, this is an awesome comic book cover of Scorpion." Even though the Venom symbiote is taking over his body. So who knows? It's remained to be seen. This movie already seems to have a lot going on, with Hulk coming into this, with Punisher coming into this, and now we know Scorpion's going to come in. Now, we don't know if he's going to be the main antagonist of the movie. He could just be a side antagonist, but we'll have to see what ends up happening there. Who knows? Maybe the Venom symbiote takes over Hulk at some point. We could get some crazy stuff going on if Venom's involved. But I do think it'd be a great idea for them to reintroduce the Venom symbiote into the Spider-Verse, only because going into Doomsday, not that Spider-Man needs extra powers, he's already powerful enough, but going into Doomsday and Secret Wars, he's going to need all the help he can get to take down some of the extra powerful mutants and other characters that we're going to be seeing in the movie. So let's see what ends up happening. This is exciting and awesome little tease, but who knows what we're going to end up seeing. It could be anything at the end of the day. But let me know what you guys think. Are you hoping that we're getting Venom as Scorpion Venom in Spider-Man Brand New Day, or are you hoping this is just nonsense? Let me know what you guys think. And moving on to our last movie news topic of the day. This is going to be talking about The Boys' final season has wrapped shooting, and Anthony Starr, who plays a Homelander, says some goodbyes to the character. Anthony Starr shares an emotional goodbye to Homelander, calling the role the highlight of his career, and reflects on the character's complex growth and impact over 5 seasons of the Amazon series. Production has wrapped on season 5. The final chapter of The Boys will share shocking show. Wait. I'm reading something wrong. The final chapter of The Boys, with Starr thanking showrunner Eric Kripke, the cast and crew, and fans for supporting what he describes as a beautiful, complex, wrapped, delicious show. The final season is set to premiere in 2026. Forgive me, guys, I read that wrong initially, but we got there. Anyways, But yeah, I think this is great. If you guys want to hear more of his comments, go ahead and check out this article in the description down below. But this just lets me know that everything's good to go with the boys. We're finally going to get the final season soon. I think the show is absolutely phenomenal, and Anthony Starr has done a great job as Homelander. He has brought us a very complex, weird, and ridiculous character in this Homelander character. I'm very interested to see what further things he's going to do with his career after a show like this. Now, we've recently seen him in, what was it, G20 something, the presidential movie on Amazon. So he hasn't done a lot with his fame from the show, but hopefully we can see him in other projects. I think he's a great actor, and I can't wait to see what they do with Homelander and the rest of the boys in this final season. But let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for the final season of The Boys, and what do you think of Anthony Starr's comments for saying goodbye to the character of Homelander? Let's see. Yeah, and that's a wrap for today's episode of the Truly Odd Podcast, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like this episode, please like and subscribe. And always, guys, remember, stay true, be odd.